Hello friends! Today I'm going to be covering two breakfast recipes that people have been asking me about. One is my morning breakfast smoothie and the other is our freezer breakfast burritos. So come along and let's make some breakfast. I drink this smoothie 4 to 7 times a week, depending on how I'm feeling. This just makes me feel my best in the morning. I'm not hungry 10 minutes later and I just feel really satiated for whatever I have ahead, whether it's going to the gym or doing a project. I just feel really good when I drink this smoothie, as opposed to when I eat something like cereal. I often feel hungry 10 minutes later, but that's just me. So I have found that this is my go-to smoothie. So I always start with 8 ounces of water and a couple of ice cubes. This is also gonna turn into a little organizing project because now that I know what I like in my smoothie, I'm gonna make myself a little smoothie station so that it's quicker every morning. But I figured I'd show you everything in its original packaging just so you know what I'm using. Pretty much all of it's from Costco, surprise, surprise. This is my favorite protein powder in chocolate. I grab it when it's on sale and I stock up. And so to my 1 cup of water, I will add 1 scoop of protein powder. Next up, I always grab a big handful of my baby spinach from Costco. And it's a generous handful. And if I notice my spinach is starting to go bad, I'll just throw it in the freezer and just grab it out of there. But I actually prefer it fresh. I just feel like I get the right amount when it's fresh. Next up to the smoothie, I add half a frozen banana. About once a week, I will cut up a bunch of bananas, put them in a Ziploc bag, and have them stored in the freezer so that they're ready to go when I want to make my breakfast smoothie. Next up, I put 1 scoop of collagen and 1 scoop of this organic peanut butter powder from Costco. If I run out of this, I do just use regular peanut butter, but I find that this just blends so much nicer and doesn't get stuck to the side of the blender, so I actually prefer it. It sat almost full in my pantry for a year, and then I used it one time and I'm like, ooh, I like this. I also like to add about a teaspoon of cocoa powder. I just find that it gives it a richer chocolate taste and kind of makes it so it's not so green. Sometimes the green from the spinach makes it look a little less appetizing because it tastes very chocolatey, especially if my kids are wanting some. I just like to add a little bit of the cocoa powder. This recipe makes 1 full glass plus some to share. If the boys want some or if Mark wants some in the morning, I will double the recipe. Cheers. While I enjoy my smoothie, I'm gonna put together my little smoothie station because now that I'm making it all the time, I'm pulling everything down out of the cabinet. It'd be easier if it's just all right on the counter, and if it's gonna be out on my counter, I wanna make it pretty, and there's a system attached to it, so it's gonna get used. So let's put it together. I bought these containers from Target, and I also saw some similar ones at Walmart. I love the combination of the wood and the glass, and the lids do have a nice suction on the top to keep things fresh. Unfortunately, they did have 2 stickers on each of them, so I used a blow dryer to warm up the stickers and help them come off easier. And if there was anything left over from the stickers, I used a magic eraser to get that residue off of the containers. With that done and the jars rinsed out, it was time to put my ingredients in, and of course, I have some little helpers for this part. All right, now that they're all washed and all the stickers are taken off, we can finally fill these guys up.
Video without me in the video. Hello guys, hit the bell, like and subscribe, and hit the thumbs up. It's not the end of the video.
Always a bit messier with helpers, but if they want to help, it's good to let them. When it comes to our home, I really love a good project, but I have a strict rule that it needs to be both beautiful and functional. We don't live in a museum and things need to function well for our family. But it's okay to put in a little extra effort and make it look really nice because then you are more likely to use it and take care of it. This project checks off both boxes. It is both beautiful and functional for our family. Here's my little smoothie station. I might even come and plug in my blender right here. That way it'll just all be together. Next up, I'm gonna be making these breakfast burritos. For this, you need 40 tortillas. I've got 30 eggs here. 25 to 30 eggs is good. A log of Jimmy Dean sausage. Then about 6 cups of hash browns. We usually just use these dehydrated ones. So step 1 is actually rehydrating them in some water. They also come in these small containers and we'll use 4 to 6 of those. I try and constantly buy all of the ingredients. Sometimes we'll put a little bit more hash brown, a little more eggs, just depending on what we have, but this is the standard recipe here.
Yeah.
With the hash browns, I just make sure they're covered in water, and then after they sit for about 15 minutes, I'll drain off any excess water. So while those are sitting, we will start cooking up the sausage and start cracking eggs.
What is this? Magma spot.
Looks like a big spring to me.
Did you get this new whisk? We haven't had a whisk.
I like to keep the fat from the sausage to cook the eggs in, or the hash browns, whichever one is ready next. Since I don't have a really large pan, I cook the eggs in 2 to 3 different batches. Same with the hash browns. I cook it in smaller batches and keep adding everything when it's done into a big bowl and stir it all together. It's time to assemble. This is the fun part. I make sure the countertop is clean and then I start laying out my tortillas so that I can do a mass burrito production line. Next up, each one gets a heaping 1/3 cup of the egg, sausage, and hash brown mixture. Next we go in and add some cheese. Now after I fold them into a burrito, my boys prefer if we then throw them in a skillet and just kind of crisp them up on the outside. They like to do this after they're frozen too. They'll microwave them and then throw them in a skillet for just a yummy, yummy breakfast. That's what they look like, all nice and browned up. These are for the boys. And all these are gonna go into some baggies to go in the freezer. Last step is to get them put away so that we can put them in the freezer. Honestly, we go through them in about 2 weeks, so they don't freeze for very long. And excuse the noise behind me, Westy's doing his chore of putting away the dishes. So I have tried this packaging a bunch of different ways, and I find the best way for them to be good is I take a piece of, this is parchment paper, I get it on Amazon, and it comes in these sheets. Let me just show you, I love it so much. I just pull one out whenever I need it. And then it's already a sheet pan size, so I love that. But I'm gonna cut it in half. I just use this in between layers of burritos. Actually, I cut it in fourths. So I cut it into fourths. And then I grab my gallon-sized Ziploc bag. I layer in 4 burritos. Then I stick a piece of parchment paper. And then I stick in 3 or 4 more on top. This keeps them from sticking together, the 2 layers. I find that 7 fit best in a Ziploc. Then I just try and suck out some of the air. And they're ready for the fridge or freezer. When it comes time to eat these burritos, we will pull them directly out of the freezer and microwave them and then put them in a skillet, or we'll pull them out a day before, put them in the refrigerator, and then cook them from there. If they are from the freezer, they might take an extra 30 seconds in the microwave to make sure that they're thawed out, but they work great from the freezer or from the refrigerator. Well, there we have it. We got 40 breakfast burritos going into the freezer and the refrigerator. One morning of work for a lot of easier mornings. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed learning about my smoothie and our breakfast burritos. We are so grateful for each and every one of you that spends time with us. Thank you. We love you. We're grateful for you. And we'll see you again real soon for more of This Alaska Life. Don't worry, Miss Luna is nearby. She's staying away from the food, but she is watching over Mom making burritos. How you doing, Luna?